बोलते. साहिल आता आला बघ. म्हणजे मला एकदा अटेंडन्स घेऊ द्या, परत नंतर लक्षात राहत नाही माझ्या. So yesterday we have studied about what is Internet of Things, how it works, what are the components, and what are its specialties or features. So those things we have studied yesterday. Even we have taken evolution overview of your IoT. Okay. So as it is mentioned in your syllabus, you have to look into that matter also. Okay. So today we are going to study about m2m. Okay. So what m2m is, that is what we are going to study. Meaning of m2m is machine to machine. Okay. So m2m applications and devices. Okay. So they are also getting popularity. And generally in business sector, this m2m applications are widely used. So many organizations, they are focusing towards this m2m solution. Even IoT solution is also there. M2M solution is also there. And M2M and IoT, both of them are almost same, but slight difference exists between these two. Okay. So what this machine-to-machine communication is, as its name implies, it is direct communication between the devices. And this communication may be in form of wired communication, or maybe in the form of wireless communication. But this communication between the machines occurs without any human interaction. So in case of IoT, the same thing is happening. There is a communication between the devices using this wireless communication channels mostly. Even wired communication channels are also used in IoT. And this is happening without any human interaction. Okay. And in a very similar way to that of IoT, it is also collecting the data and sharing the data with the other connected devices. Okay. So one important thing you have to remember about this is that it is the technology that allows the devices to communicate without use of internet. So this is the main difference between M2M and IoT. So in case of IoT, the communication between the devices is happening with help of internet. But here, communication between the devices is happening without use of internet. Okay, so you can take example of using your mobile phone as a remote control of your TV. So in this particular application, your mobile phone is talking with your television without use of internet. Okay, so this can be called as machine to machine communication or M2M type of application. Okay, you might have experienced this. Now, various such applications, they are used in defense, monitoring, tracking, production, even facility management, and that's why mostly this is used for industrial purpose and business purpose. Even it can be used in home automation. Okay, so for domestic purposes, this is also used. Okay, so this is what M2M technology is. Okay, so here one more common example of the M2M interaction is given. Electrical devices like fans, bulbs, they can be operated using Bluetooth from your smartphone. Okay. So similar way to that of operating television with help of your smartphone. Okay. So here devices are talking with devices using some standard communication protocols, but internet is not involved in it. So such type of device or application is called as M2M communication. Okay. Now, let us go to the architecture of M2M communication. Okay, so here what you can observe, different layers which are present in this architecture that you can observe. Which kind of layers are present? Can anybody tell me which kind of layers are present in this M2M devices? Yes. Yes, tell me the layers which are written with the help of this black color. How many layers are there? One, two, three, four. Four layered M2M architecture is generally used. The first layer is a physical layer, obviously, and it consists of smart objects. Here, as you can observe in this layer, some devices are present here. For example, television, fridge, air conditioner, washing machine, etc. Such kind of smart objects, they are present in the object layer or the physical layer of your M2M architecture. The second layer is communication layer, third layer is the middleware, and obviously the fourth layer is the application or application access layer. Okay, so as you can see, what we can say about the physical layer or the smart object layer is that so the devices those you want to connect using this M2M architecture, they are present in this physical layer, and all the physical connections which are responsible for uh, connecting these devices together, this is also present in the physical layer. So physical layer mostly deals with the hardware. Okay, so now coming to the next layer, um, as you can see, the next layer which is responsible for providing communication and network solution for this smart devices. So these communication protocols and network solutions, they are provided in the communication layer, or you can say they are deployed in the communication layer. Okay, so this layer may consist of wired or wireless network adapters. So generally these adapters are used to connect the various devices, and they may be managed by gateway manager software. Gateway manager software may also be present here. Okay, so for accessing the smart devices remotely, uh, particularly, so such kind of protocols are also available in the this type of communication. So standard protocols are available there, and these standard protocols are also used in order to carry out the communication between these devices, and these protocols and communication or network adapters, protocols and network adapters, basically they are present in the communication layer. This much you have to remember about this. The next layer which you can see is a middleware. So what middleware consists of? Middleware consists of business logic, intelligent software, and API support. Okay, and as you are aware about what is API support, what it is, can anybody tell me what API support is? Yes, yes, tell me what is API support. My time. Lana.
नाही मॅम.
Okay. Full form of API is application program interface. Application program interface. So when application programs are communicating with each other, two softwares are communicating with each other, then you will need what is called as API. Application program interface. Two softwares may be interfaced with help of this API. Okay, so you are using various applications in your mobile phone. For example, you are sending a message with Facebook, or sometimes even you are observing weather data with help of that. So this this is using API. Okay, application program interface. So this middleware basically it is a brain of your M2M architecture, as you can say, and it is going to collect the data from all communication protocols, from all the gateways or network which are available in the communication layer, and this data will be processed into a useful information, and this information is used for your business or for your application. That is what you can say. Okay, so this middleware is basically providing a platform to the developer for application development. So for application development, whatever is present, like softwares, various types of softwares and API supports, so they are present. They are present in this middleware. Okay, and as it is taking data and analyzing it and converting it into useful form, this particular layer is a intelligent layer among this M2M architecture. Okay, now, above this middleware layer, there is existence of top layer, which is nothing but application layer. And as you know, here you can see different type of devices which are present in the application layer. Computer may be present, tablet may be present, your smartphone may be present, isn't it? So your user is going to handle this particular type of system or application using these kind of gadgets, and therefore these devices are present in the application or application access layer. Okay, so it is providing the platform to the user to access these smart devices remotely. Okay, so at a touch of fingertips, as you can say. Okay, so mostly these applications are developed and used to connect and communicate devices and personalized for a specific application. Okay, so here user is going to handle this with help of mobile phone, tab or PC. So these devices along with some software, application software, must be present there, and all these things are present in your application layer or application access layer. So are you clear about this working of the M2M architecture? It is very simple. The similar architecture you can find in IoT, isn't it? But here, in case of IoT, there is a presence of cloud and your internet protocol. TCP/IP protocol. Okay, so it is absent here. This is the only difference. Otherwise, all remaining layers are the same. Now, what are the applications of this M2M technology? It finds medical application. So wireless medical devices can be connected together to monitor the patient remotely. Okay. In transport system, for example, suppose a traffic control system can use devices to monitor the traffic scenario and regulate it efficiently. So this is very important. Traffic control system units can be formed, projects can be undertaken under this category. Now, industrial applications are there. In industrial automation, various wireless gadgets can talk to each other, which may improve the productivity and cost efficiency. In home automation also, surveillance devices, alarms, all these may be connected together to keep track of home applications, particularly home security in real time sense. So this is also one of the important application of M2M communication. Automobile, again, it is specially designed devices can be used for tracking and anti-theft alarm systems in automobile. They are designed using this M2M technology. Even in other businesses like advertising, remote management of digital billboards, that can also be done with the help of M2M type of technology. So it finds large amount of applications in the business field. So this is all about your M2M architecture, its application, and what M2M is. Now, here in this diagram, which you can observe to your right, is the M2M structure and IoT structure. So here you can see that there is presence of web in IoT, and web is absent in M2M. So this is the main point which is going to distinguish your M2M from IoT. And here you can remember certain things. The first point is that IoT can be thought of as one example of M2M technology. Okay, so in that way, you can call IoT as a subset of M2M technology. Okay, so in IoT also, two machines are communicating without human interaction, and therefore you can call it as M2M communication. So IoT is for me a subset of M2M communication, uh, which has speciality that it consists of web for communication. Okay. Now, second point that you have to consider about the distinction between M2M and IoT is the type of the communication which is occurring within M2M and the type of the communication which is occurring within your IoT. The type of communication that is occurring in machine to machine is point to point communication. Okay, so you have studied about point to point communication. So such a point-to-point communication is occurring in case of machine-to-machine application. But in case of Internet of Things, the devices generally they are communicating or communicating with the help of a global network. So this is important. It is using cloud, and global networks are used for communication in case of IoT, and point-to-point communication exists in M2M. Okay. Now, third important thing is about the scalability of the system. IoT is obviously highly scalable because it involves cloud and global networks, and M2M, as it consists of point-to-point connection, it is not scalable. Okay, so it is used for its integration is minimal. That is what you can say. So it is not scalable. So this is the difference. Now here, actually, depending on different features, we are going to differentiate between IoT and M2M. For your examination point of view, this particular uh, thing you must focus. Uh, Full forms. First point is actually IoT stands for Internet of Things, M2M stands for machine to machine communication. Now, if we are talking about the intelligence, then you can say vast amount of intelligence is available in IoT applications, whereas limited amount of intelligence is needed in M2M type of application. Let us talk about communication protocols which are used in IoT. Internet protocols such as file transfer protocol, telnet, and HTTP. So all these internet protocols are used for communication. But in M2M technology, traditional communication protocols are used. You can take example of the Bluetooth. Now, type of connections used. Obviously, M2M using point-to-point connection, and IoT is using global network type of communication. Okay, so if you see the scope of this application, IoT has wide range of devices, and hence its scope is larger. M2M has limited scope. Okay, now business type that is used for IoT application, it is business to business and business to consumer also. But M2M, it is mostly a business to business type of communication. So basically, it is devised for business purpose only. Data sharing, here you can say it depends on the internet protocol. Okay, and here you can use mobile or any other infrastructure at your place to share the data, but you are not using a global network. So this is the difference. Then open API support, IoT technology, it supports open API integration. In M2M, there is no open API support. Open API support is not there. So particularly designed API support is available there. Now here you can see big data, cloud, smart variables, and all these applications, they come under IoT. Data and information, sensor networks, and all these things, they come under M2M. Okay, so IoT are more smarter as compared to M2M. That is what you can say last. Okay, now let us move to the next part of your syllabus, and that is IoT reference model. Okay, so IoT reference model here you can observe is of 7 layers. Even 3-layer model is also depicted, but in your syllabus, 7-layer IoT reference model you are going to study. So IoT World Forum, it has proposed this model, and here you can observe the 7 layers of this IoT reference model. Physical device, physical layer, as you can see, connectivity or communication layer, edge computing layer, data accumulation or storage layer, data abstraction layer, application layer, and collaboration and processes layer. Okay, so these 7 layers are present. These 7 layers are present in your IoT. Okay, so let us discuss about each one of these layers one by one. Now, if you consider the first layer, it is made up of physical devices and physical equipments like controllers. So they are coming into this first layer. Okay. Now, as this is Internet of Things, things means devices, physical devices, and these physical devices are responsible for sending or receiving the data. So you can say these are the nodes of your communication. That is what you can say. Okay. So here the local computer controller can come under this physical device, which is used to connect these various devices. Even a network controller can be there, and here use of NFC for transmission is done. So have you idea of NFC? What NFC is? Can anybody tell me? Yes. What NFC is? NFC is nothing but near field communication. NFC is nothing but a near field communication. So this kind of protocol is used for the communication in the physical devices. Okay, and it is present in the physical layer of your IoT. So for a near field communication type of application, NFC is used. Okay. The second layer, which is present above physical devices layer, is communication layer or connectivity layer. It's the same as that of M2M. And the second layer is associated with, again, the communication protocols. Okay. So this layer implements the protocols, and these protocols are implemented according to various types of devices which are connected in your application. Okay. So with help of this layer only, the translation of the protocols takes place. Okay. And this also provides assistance in analytics which are related to your network. So network analytics is carried out by this connectivity layer. So it is connecting the various devices. Uh, it is supporting the devices which are connected in the first layer. It supports it with the help of protocols. That means it is going to implement the protocols. The protocols are implemented according to compatibility of the devices. And suppose you have to make the devices compatible, then in that case translation of protocols must be carried out. So this translation of protocols is carried out with help of this communication layer, and also it provides assistance in network analytics. So this is what is functioning of the connectivity layer. Now let us go to the next layer, which is present above the connectivity layer. It is called as edge computing. So edge computing is responsible for data formatting. So what it does, it makes the data suitable for the layer which are present above the edge computing layer. That means it is going to perform operations on the data sets, so that the layer which are present above this edge computing layer, they are capable of making sense of the data. Okay. So in order to do this, it performs various operations on data, like cleaning of the data, filtering of the data, aggregation of the data, etc. So apart from this, it can be used to evaluate data. It can be used to validate the data. Okay. It is used in data reformatting. Okay. And it is used in decoding the data and expanding the data. Okay. So it also provides assistance in data compression. The unnecessary data is removed by this edge computing layer only, thereby providing data compression, because in IoT application, vast amount of data is produced, and it may not be, all the data may not be useful for your application. So there is need to decide which data is useful, which is not useful, remove the data which is not useful, and use the data or send the data to the layer, upper layer, which is useful only. And this is going to save your resources, and you can call it as data compression. Okay. So this is going to decrease the traffic workload on your network. So it is again assisting in creating event alerts. Certain event alerts must be given by your IoT system, and by using the data which is received from various sensors, it is interpreting that data, and it is sensing the various events, and it is producing event alerts in edge computing layer only. Okay. So most of the time, for numerous applications, you are using Internet of Thing for process control. And in case of process control, certain events must be alarmed. And this event alarms may be created in this layer only. So that is what you have to remember about this. Now, let us move to the next layer, fourth layer, which is called as data accumulation layer. So as its name implies, it is going to accumulate the data. Okay. So as you can see continuously, the nodes which are present in Internet of Things, mostly which are sensors, they are collecting data continuously, and this data is ever changing data. That is what you can say. Ever changing data is present there. Okay. And this ever changing data must be accumulated somewhere, and in this data accumulation layer, the whole data is accumulated. And the again here in second stage, the data filter is applied, and only a significant part of the data uh, is in which data, the data which is important is sent to the next stage, and remaining data is eliminated here. So this is the second stage where the data can be eliminated. In first stage, data is eliminated in edge computing layer. This is the second layer in which again the data is eliminated. So any redundancy that is present here, that can be eliminated. Okay. So this stage or this layer is called as data accumulation layer. Okay. So let us come to the next layer, which is fifth layer, which is data abstraction layer. So the relevant data which is provided by edge computing and data accumulation is processed by this data abstraction layer. Okay. So this data will be provided to the application layer for the further processing. Okay. Uh, the primary intention of this data abstraction layer is keeping in mind the amount of storage, and keeping in the mind uh, the application of a particular event, as you can say. So depending on this application, and depending on this uh, amount of data, amount of storage, the data abstraction is carried out, and it is processed so that it becomes useful for application layer. Okay. Now coming to the application layer, this is the layer which is responsible for interfacing your user to the IoT system. User can operate through this operation layer, this particular type of application layer. So this layer consists of software as well as hardware. Okay, and these hardware and software are linked together to provide the interface to the user. Okay, so user will take useful data at this